Well, hello again. It's Travis Ayres, aka Marc Sommers. Marc Sommers was my radio name when I was a top 40 DJ for stations in New Orleans and New York City for 35 years. And I'm back again with you with another radio story. This time we're coming from beautiful Southern California, the Mission Bay district of gorgeous San Diego. Glad to be with you again. Now we're going to start off this story. It's sort of a Navy story and a radio story. So I got my little Navy pen there to make it appropriate. The last time I was in San Diego was 1968 aboard the USS Regulus. I was a 21-year-old fire control technician, third-class petty officer. I didn't know that much, but anyway, my shipmates took care of me and I learned. So we were here in San Diego in '68, and then we sailed for the West Pacific, specifically Japan, then Vietnam. We went into Da Nang, and then we went off the coast of Vietnam to what they called Yankee Station. Yankee Station was where the aircraft carriers were doing their missions, and each aircraft carrier was surrounded by about a half dozen destroyers to protect them. And we, the USS Regulus, we were a service ship. We were a food service ship. So we were delivering chow, sending food over to the sailors on the aircraft carriers and the destroyers. And as far as my Navy experience, it was 2 years of service. And I made 2 West Pacific tours, basically to those same countries, Japan, Vietnam, Philippines, Hong Kong for a little R&R. And then I'm headed back. In 1969, my military service is ending, and we're heading back from, I believe, Japan. I think we sailed out of Japan, and we had about a little less than 2 weeks for the crossing till we get back to our home base, which was Alameda, right around the San Francisco area. So here's where the radio part comes in. I was trying in that last few days before I got out of the Navy to decide what kind of career path I was going to take once I was a civilian again. And I had narrowed it down. At that point, I'd narrowed it down to either 2 things. I was either going to be an illustrator, an artist illustrator, which I knew a little something about in the sense that since I was a little kid, I've been able to draw pretty well, still like to draw. And so I knew a little something about that, thought I might have some potential. The other thing was I loved to listen to top 40 radio, and I thought maybe I can be a top 40 DJ, but I didn't know anything about how to get into broadcasting. So as we stop in Hawaii, and then we got about maybe 5 days before we get to San Francisco. So we're about, I'm guessing, off the coast of California here. We're about 100 miles out the night before we get into San Francisco. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep, excited about getting back to the States and becoming a civilian. And so I took my little box radio up to the deck of the ship, and I sat there on the deck of the ship, and I decided, well, I'll try to see if I can tune in an American radio station here. It'd be nice to hear American radio again. And I was able to get a really powerful signal. Couldn't even see the lights of San Francisco at this point yet, but I was able to get a powerful signal out of San Francisco, probably KFRC or one of the other top 40 stations. But anyway, here comes this song booming out of the radio that I'd never heard before by apparently a singer I'd never heard before. And I really love this record. And I listened to it for a couple of minutes and it ends. And you know what? At the end of that record, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to play great music like that on the radio. And for the next 35 years, that's exactly what I did. What was the song, you ask? It was by a new artist, Creedence Clearwater Revival, with lead singer John Fogerty. And the song was Proud Mary. And I don't know, maybe I would have decided to go into radio anyway if I'd never heard this song at that particular moment. But that was a key moment. And when that song came on, that was the moment that I made my decision. I'm going into top 40 radio. And I did. About 3 weeks later, I'm in Dallas enrolling in broadcasting school. finish broadcasting school, get my first little radio job at a small town Texas station, not making any money. But eventually that journey that I started that night with John Fogerty, that journey would lead me to WABC in New York City, and then later on WCBS-FM, also in the Big Apple. So that's my Navy story and radio story. And this is Marc Sommers, actually Travis Ayres. A little salute out to Mr. John Fogerty. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day. Catch you next time.